Carolyn Rode, Vice President of Institutional Advancement and also Director of the ACC Foundation, and welcome to our seminar, Simple Strategies to Support ACC Through Your Estate Plan. Through this webinar, we want to start an effort to share simple ideas that don't require a lawyer, make arrangements to support ACC and its students beyond your lifetime. But before we get into that, we do want to give you a few brief updates on ACC. And I will add that we are recording this in January of 2024. So if you are watching this a few months down the line and it seems a little dated, I apologize for that. So those of you who might not have been on campus for a while, you may know that we have 2 new buildings, but if you stop by the campus, it will have been changed. We have 2 new buildings. First is the Biotechnology Center of Excellence. That is a brand new building that is visible from the highway, which is wonderful. It gives a lot more attention to the college. This building houses a mixture of labs and classrooms. It hosts 2 programs, biotechnology and histotechnology, and also biology classes for a variety of healthcare curricula take place in that building. Second, right smack dab in the front parking lot of ACC facing Jimmy Carr is a brand new student services building located right in front of the main building. And this brings together services for students such as admissions, financial aid, the cashier's office, and the registrar in one location. And finally, we are now getting started on the new Public Safety Training Center in Green Level, so just north of the college. We will be having the groundbreaking for that facility in February, so we're really excited about that. And I always want to say thank you to those of you on the call who are Alamance County taxpayers and who are funding ACC in this much needed expansion to be able to better serve our community. Just quickly a little bit on enrollment. And for spring semester, looking at fall, looking at spring, our enrollment numbers are up 10%. That is always great news. Last year, the ACC Foundation experienced unprecedented demand for financial aid from the foundation. We actually spent nearly $800,000 on student assistance, and that is by far the highest we have ever spent. And this increase reflects a variety of factors, not the least being the inflationary impact on the cost of books and supplies. So just in a couple of examples, a starter bundle of textbooks and supplies for a high school automotive student taking a 6-week class is now over $300. And some of our medical and trades programs have first semester textbook and supply costs totaling over $1,000. Luckily, because of the great support that the foundation receives from people on and off campus, we are able to cover that. So we thank all of you who are our current generous donations, and we thank you for your interest as well in this webinar. It is important that we hear from our students, and we have a brief video featuring one of our student ambassadors, Starry McAllister, who is an ACC nursing student.
Hello, my name is Sky McAllister, and I'm a nursing student at Alamance Community College. I chose the nursing program at ACC after working with an alumna who was a phenomenal cardiothoracic ICU nurse. She was the most intelligent and competent nurse on our unit, and she attributed her success to ACC's nursing program. I am thankful I took her advice to attend ACC for nursing, because I have had an outstanding experience as a student. The resources and support provided by the college have ensured my success in my academic career. The atmosphere and culture of ACC demonstrates its dedication to professionalism and collaboration. My instructors have given me transformative guidance that have helped me evolve into a caring, insightful nurse. Upon graduation from ACC, I plan to work as an intensive care nurse while obtaining my Bachelor of Nursing or BSN degree online. I am considering pursuing a medical degree or an advanced practice nursing degree following the completion of my BSN. And finally, I plan to work for a nonprofit organization to provide health care to disadvantaged populations, both locally and globally. My dedication to a career in healthcare was inspired by my experience as a patient. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease as a child, which has required countless surgeries, hospitalizations, and treatments. These challenges have allowed me to empathize and anticipate the needs of my patients. My life's purpose is to be a helping hand and a healing presence to as many people as I can. I owe my life to the kind nurses that cared for me when I could not care for myself. Thanks to Alamance Community College, I am getting the strength, knowledge, and skills that I need to bring me closer to my goals. On behalf of the student body and as an ACC ambassador, I thank you for your continued support of the ACC Foundation. Thank you.
And we always appreciate hearing from our students, and Starry is one of just many outstanding students attending ACC, and we love showcasing the students. I would also like to introduce my partner on this webinar, Faro Calixt, a certified financial planner with Modera Wealth Management. Faro has extensive experience in the financial services industry, having worked as an advisor for several large national wealth management firms. Before joining Modera, he was the founder and lead financial planner for a boutique financial planning firm, Vantage Point Planning, located in Burlington, North Carolina. Faro received his BA from New York University, his JD from Southern University Law Center, and completed the executive program at Duke University. He enjoys volunteering to teach financial literacy to young people whenever he can. And we are also glad to note that Faro serves as a member of the Plan Giving Committee of the ACC Foundation Board of Directors, and we are very grateful for his involvement in the webinar today.
Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for the introduction here. It's always good to hear from some of our ACC ambassadors, because it really drives home the point of why we do the important work that we do, and why your involvement is so beneficial. And it really helps people in real lives. So today I get the pleasure to talk to you about simple strategies to support ACC through your estate plan. Try to say that 10 times fast. That's a mouthful. However, I'm going to just talk about a general overview on basically how you can continue to support some of the work here that we're doing. And as Carolyn alluded to when we started this call, I cannot jump in here without talking about some of the disclosure. I'll talk about the disclosures. Carolyn, if we could just scroll, Barbara. Next slide. Okay, so here's a disclosure for you all. This information is not intended as tax or legal advice. We just advise you to please consult your tax, legal, financial advisor anytime you're making a gift. Is this to any charitable organization, but especially ours? This information is really just for educational purposes and general information. Okay. Next. Titan society. Carolyn, hold on, let me just double check it. Okay, yeah. So one of the things that we'll talk about is becoming a member of the Titan Society. If you take advantage of these simple strategies here, you'll qualify you for membership in the Titan Society. Obviously, Carolyn can talk to you all about that in great detail, about the benefits of becoming a member of the Titan Society. But here's just kind of an overview of that. Here's some of the benefits of being a member of the Titan Society. Like we talked about, the lasting impact that supports students beyond your lifetime. Valentine's Day is coming up. This recording is in January, so you get some treats delivered to you locally by some of the ambassadors. You get invitation to all our ACC Foundation events, a special designation on your name tag. You also get your listing in various publicized lists for Titan members. And again, you can always choose to be anonymous if you want to give that way. Okay. All right. So now we kind of talked about, so what is a beneficiary designation? So when you think about it, a beneficiary designation permits you just to determine who receives certain assets upon your death. It's generally accomplished by completing a form by your relevant financial information institution. You get these beneficiary, most of the common beneficiary designations are, think about any financial account that you may have. So this designation can be to a spouse, child, relative, friend, or charitable organization. Hint, hint. Can typically be set to a dollar amount or percentage. You're allowed primary and contingent beneficiaries. That's important, the distinction there. Non-probate assets, when we think about that, that's going to be basically financial and retirement accounts, life insurance, and annuities. Probate assets are typically disposed under the terms of the will. And then you have different titling. So you have joint tenants with rights of survivorship and tenants by the entirety. Property passes to the other joint owner automatically at death. Okay, so we've talked about what type of assets would get these designations. Think about life insurance, brokerage accounts, bank accounts, checking, savings, CDs, your retirement accounts, any IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, etc. And then you also have annuities. Next, Barb. Okay, so when we talked about disposing of assets or gifting assets through the will, some of the benefits to you, right? It's access to your funds during your lifetime. So this happens after death, and then the assets would be disposed. It's really giving you some control of who or what receives your assets at your death, and then there's potential tax benefits. And then when you get your estate attorney, your lawyer to draw up your will for you, you want to include some language here. We provided some sample language that would work. In this case, you would have to just double check with your attorney and make sure that this language suffices. But basically, you just want to state clearly that you're giving a gift to Alamance Community Foundation. You want to identify the foundation. Here's the address, the dollar amount, and the percentage. And you basically want to talk about this gift is whether it's unrestricted, and the board of directors may use this in any manner as determines appropriate. Or you can say that you can donate to a specific fund as well. All right, retirement assets. So the benefits to you, again, you have access to it during your lifetime. Again, you want a control of who or what receives your assets after your death. And there's also tax benefits that it may be greater if you leave it to a charitable organization. That's where your professionals are really going to come into hand, your accountant and your estate planning attorney, financial advisor, to really craft. This is all part of a gifting strategy and a legacy, and to name ACC as one of the beneficiaries of this gift. And then we included here how to create a beneficiary designation. Each of these accounts, these retirement accounts, they typically have a form, internal form that you must fill out for them. Here we give you an example of a TIAA CREF form that you can pull up, but that would be a question, again, that you would ask your financial professionals.
And Farrell, can I just jump in with a question here? So completing that form for an IRA is something that you don't need a lawyer for, is that correct?
Correct. You would not need a lawyer to complete that form. That's just listing a beneficiary. Those are typically retirement assets. They pass by contract. So you can name primary and contingent beneficiaries on there.
So we've included the TIAA CREF form because obviously many of the folks who support ACC have been involved in education, but this could be any IRA, management company, Fidelity, you name
Schwab,
it.
correct,
Yep, they all have these forms.
correct. Next slide, Barb. All right. Other assets which you may designate a beneficiary, that's a life insurance. Again, you would have a beneficiary designation form. Annuities operate very similarly. Bank accounts, we're often most familiar with those. You can put transfer on death or payable on death. Brokerage accounts are similar where you can have a transfer on death form on there as well. All right. So basically, so after you've decided to give a gift, you've included us in some of these forms, these documents. Okay, so how can the bequest be used? So again, we talk about for every unrestricted $100 donation made to the ACC Foundation, here's just a breakdown of how the money is allocated. You see it here on the screen. So $40 would go to student scholarships, $28 goes to other types of student aid, such as work study and student emergency distress. $27 goes to education program enhancements. You see some of the examples there. And then $5 goes to the advancement office to cover those expenses. Okay. Okay, so those were so gifts to an already established restricted fund or endowment is just, we just want to ask you to double check. Please make sure you have the correct name of the fund or endowment. It just simplifies it and just avoids any kind of confusion. Make sure that we want to honor your intent. That's the most important thing for us. Okay, so if you want to give to a new fund or endowment that is established, the current minimum for a restricted fund is $1,000, and for an endowed fund is $20,000. So the restricted donations may be made for scholarships or other types of financial aid, support of professional development for employees, or support for a particular department or program. So
And
you'll
once
work
again,
with Carolyn and the staff, but go ahead.
I was going to say, having been involved with, in particular, the ACC Foundation for about 20 years now, and we have been the wonderful beneficiary of several estate plans, but sometimes the language is very difficult to interpret exactly what the individual is wanting us to do. And we are trying to read between the lines, which is interesting. So anytime if there's a specific plan that you have in your mind, reach out to us, let us know. We can document that. We can make sure that when that comes to fruition, we know exactly what your intent is, what you want to do, and what you want to accomplish. And of course, it is our privilege and responsibility to do that. So we appreciate any communication we can get.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. So again, if you should have any questions about anything that we've discussed today, here's the contact information for Carolyn. Here, she'd be happy to answer any of your questions about how you can give. And I also just want to say that, again, I love how we started this presentation with an actual student. These gifts that are given by support of your generosity really impacts lives. We have countless student stories that we could share with you just to show the impact that you're having in a real person's life. And we appreciate just your consideration for this, and we're happy to do this.
Again, thank you for being with us today. We've certainly enjoyed doing this webinar, and hope that this provides some examples for individuals who are interested in ACC and its students to think about how they may continue to benefit the college and its students far beyond their lifetime. So it is just a privilege to work with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.